everybody, it's Eric with Better Every Shave, back today with a software spotlight on Pasteur's Gotham The Five Points. They sent me this pre-release to take a look at and to share with you. And I just will get it out of the way right now. I really, really like this one. I can say that there have been a lot of things sent to me, both by companies and also by friends who want to share things and send me samples that I just, they're fine, they perform well, the scents are okay, but they don't really just like immediately connect. And this is one where I really feel like as soon as I opened it up, I just had a really lovely smell of it, and it's a sweet fragrance without being too sugary. It's floral without being very floral. It's kind of middle of the road in a lot of things, but in a very, very good way. It's blended very nicely. So let's take a look at their website and we'll start there. They have 3 different offerings right now in this soap. They have, counting the sample, they've got 4. So they do have a sample for $2. They have the full size soap, and then they have a 2.5 ounce shaving stick and 100 milliliter splash. I have the soap in splash, which we'll take a look at. They don't have a picture of the stick. I wasn't sure if maybe they would. Let's take a look at the soap. So let's see. First of its kind, Gotham's shaving soap is the first product by Pasteur. So that's pretty cool. Pasteur's done a lot of collaborations with other artisans, and they've come up with some really great products, but it's always sort of been in collaboration, whereas this is their own first product, and I honestly think they've done a really, really great job with it. And if we look at the description, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's basically based on late 1800s and sort of the gangs that were in Manhattan and sort of the wild nature of Manhattan and New York at that point in time. I think there have been a couple movies made about, I know there's one, I think it has Daniel Day-Lewis in it. I can't think of the name of it right now. I'll put it underneath of me here in the video. I want to say Kings of New York, but I think that's probably wrong. Anyway, really crazy time in history. And so, Pasteur's being in New York, they're sort of drawing on that. And, so really cool artwork, and we'll get into that in a second here. But the scent notes, it's a dupe of Baccarat 540, which is an amber floral fragrance, unisex, so for women and men. The top notes are saffron and jasmine. Middle notes are amberwood and ambergris. And the base notes are fir resin and cedar. I'm not going to go through the ingredients. I'll go ahead and put this on the screen here. And the splash is going to be the same description. The difference will be that the ingredients obviously in a splash will be different. And the artwork is really nice. Let's drop down here and take a look at what I've got. So here's the artwork. It is very, very, very cool. The sort of kind of the telling a story here right on the cover. Nice vinyl label so you can get it wet and it's not going to get destroyed. Nice label here along the side as well with the ingredients. And let's take a look inside. It's a very smooth pour. It's interesting. It's very sort of smooth and shiny. And there's the scoop I had taken out of it to use it for the shave that I'll show some highlights of. Just wanted to jump in here, and I forgot to mention that the soap's a little unusual in that it's a fairly stiff soap based on today's standards of, pretty soft soaps, kind of like crope, style soaps. This one still has a lot of butters in it, and it's cocoa butter, Kokum butter, Illipe butter. It's got a lot of butters in it, but somehow they've managed to make it a stiffer soap. And I guess the point in mentioning that is, one, that it's just slightly unusual, and 2, I think that means maybe it will go a little bit further. So you're getting 4 ounces, but maybe that's going to last a little bit longer. And then along with that, the splash, also very nice artwork. kind of the same thing that's on the front, but this one you get a little more of that blue background because of it's on the side label here, but a little more prominent on the splash. So very, very nice stuff. I think the smell of it, so obviously the description is that it's, I don't know anything about Baccarat 540, and the fragrance for women and men. I mean, I can definitely see this. I personally think it's pretty masculine. So I mean, I'm not saying a woman wouldn't wear this, but it definitely has more of sort of a, I don't know, sort of a traditional sort of sweet masculine scent. At least, and again, I am not, I'm not a frag head or someone who knows much about scents, but you know, if we look at the the top notes of saffron and jasmine, and I mean, the sweetness that's in here has got to be coming from some of that, right? But I don't get a really strong floral component. And that's nice. And I think it's just because it's blended so well. And then the middle notes, Amberwood and Ambergris. I don't know what ambergris is. I mean, I know it. I'm not sure what the component is, where it comes from, but I've noticed that recently when something has amber in it, that I really enjoy the fragrance. So maybe that's some of the reason that I'm really enjoying this. The Fir Resin and Cedar. Again, it's blended so well that it's hard to pull out the individual fragrances. But I can see how the cedar might be sort of underneath of the floral component, and that's kind of mixed together what's giving me this nice sort of sweet, I'm not going to say gourmand, but it definitely almost has like a chocolatey, um, maybe like a fig or yeah, something like that, like a dark fruit sort of component. Anyway, it's I really like it. I'm doing a terrible job explaining it, but it's one that I can see myself using frequently. In terms of scent strength, and by frequently I mean like literally once a week. Scent strength, you know, I'll use soap things, you know, 1 out of 5, and it's a 2, 3. I mean, it's not a super strong fragrance, which actually is just okay, just fine by me. I've had a lot of soaps and splashes lately that are just so strong, and that's okay. I mean, I get that people want to get their money's worth out of it, but I mean, it to the point where I have to be very sparing on how much splash I use because it's it's just so strong. And the splash, you know, maybe a half notch higher. But I'll tell you, in wearing it and putting it on, it had an initial sort of, you know, push of that fragrance, and it did sort of mellow pretty quickly. And then within an hour or so, I mean, it was there. So if I were to cup my face and smell, I could definitely smell it, but it was not prominent. And again, I think that's a good thing because if you're trying to go to work, if you are, I don't know, going to a function somewhere where you're around a lot of people and you're worried about being too strong, but you want to smell nice and have a nice fragrance, I think this is a good option. And that's one of the reasons why I think I'll probably be using it so often is because I don't necessarily want to smell too strongly. So let's go ahead and take a look at the shave. And it's shave time. I've got the lather pretty well hydrated here. You see a little bloop just came off. I like to get as much water in it as I can in the bowl, and then I bring it to the face and agitate it a little bit there. A little bit of a sort of hybrid bowl face lather. And a good soap is going to sort of thicken up and become nice and creamy. And of course, that's what this soap did. I know this is a different base, or maybe let's say a new base, and this is Pasteur's first soap, but this is, whoever made this soap knows what they're doing, let's say that. So first pass with the grain, I have a Schick M1 adjustable injector here. I have it on setting 5, and this is a Supply Black Label blade, probably 4th use, somewhere around there. No drama whatsoever. Super slick, very comfortable. Jumping into the second pass here, and yeah, across the grain, no problems whatsoever. I think I'm on a 3 on the adjustment right now, and very comfortable. Excellent glide, slickness, and residual slickness, and all of that. So yeah, great performance here, and the fragrance did open up a little bit. It became a little more pronounced. Just really, really an incredibly great showing for a first effort, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing if they continue the Gotham series. So this is 5 points. My guess is maybe they're going to do something else along those lines. Oh, hang on. Just thought I'd get in on the ASMR trend. Oh my, and then I'm finishing up here with my typical 5 or 6 sprays of Thayer's, and here's the aftershave. Very simple aftershave, not a lot of skin foods or anything like that, so just an alcohol based. Nice with the fragrance, gives you a little bit of sort of astringent, tighten up the skin a bit. No burning after this shave. It's a very nice smooth shave with the Shea injector. Very, very enjoyable. Love the fragrance. Great shave all around, as evidenced by this.